Great throw, Homer.
The Lego version of Homer lives in a perfect world. However, he begins to suspect that his entire Lego world is not real when he gets visions from another dimension. The episode begins with Marge waking up Homer from a nightmare, but to our surprise, everything is made of Legos. He tells her she looks beautiful and that his best day was when she gave him her hand in marriage.
Hey, drop it, you stupid dog!
Though brutally, suddenly ripping off her arm. However, in this Lego world, she doesn't feel pain. Then their dog steals it, thinking it's a bone, and doesn't want to give it back, so Marge takes a spare arm from his closet. During breakfast, Bart says something feels off, and Marge says something is different about the Simpsons today. I wonder what it is.
Your father's wearing a tie.
Oh, that's what's different.
Oh, it's just that Homer is wearing a tie. Here, they tell Maggie not to play with her food, then this giant baby transforms her toy car into a baby bottle. Later, Homer leaves his house in search to get a gift for Lisa, but gets distracted and completely runs over Krusty. But since they're still in the Lego world, they're chill like that because they don't feel pain.
Hey, these are the monkey's legs.
At the kids' school, Milhouse shows Bart a skunk, but when he grabs it, the animal sprays whatever that is and escapes. They chase it until they reach the basement and they start breaking a wall to get it back. But Willie warns them that if they continue, they'll break the whole school. But when they say that a skunk has entered, Willie destroys the entire wall, causing the school to collapse completely, as he had predicted. So Skinner scolds Bart and leaves him with Legos to rebuild it. Good thing is that task is for ages 12 and up, along with some moving words of support from Bully Nelson. Meanwhile, Homer arrives to the collector asking for a Lego princess. But when he touches the box, he has a vision of playing with Lisa and assembling this same Lego package that, to Homer's surprise, he actually enjoyed playing with her, which that usually never happens.
We played, and it wasn't boring.
After that vision, Homer says that he was in a strange place where he wasn't made of blocks. The collector says external realities aren't allowed, so Homer runs away, scared. At night, he tells Marge that his body felt soft and his hands like snakes. It was horrible, but Marge tells him to calm down, as everything fits with everything else and no one gets hurt. She gives him a massage, and they have an intense night of intimacy, ending with their bodies gone, but heads united. How beautiful. That night, Homer goes to wash his face, but seeing himself in the mirror, he is scared to see himself as a flesh and blood person.
Marge, did you replace our regular mirror with a magical mirror from a mystical salesman at a weird store that if we went back to find it, it wouldn't be there anymore?
No.
In the afternoon, he walks around the neighborhood, thinking about what he saw, until he sees his reflection at the Quickie Mart and starts yelling to go back where he came from, although Apu thought it was directed at him.
I have as much right to be here as you. I, sir, am in the Advent calendar.
Then he goes to Moe's bar and asks for alcohol to kill brain cells, but when he was about to drink the beer, it transforms into liquid instead of the plastic circles they drink, also seeing his friends in their original form. Thinking he is going insane, he runs away scared again. Meanwhile, Bart gets bored rebuilding the school, so he takes advantage of Willie falling asleep on his legs to transform it into something crazy. A climbing wall, skate park, zip line, haunted forest, and games. Seeing all this, the Skinner arrives, saying that the school should make them feel like they are in a prison.
How will children learn if they don't feel like they're in kid jail?
Bart transforms the same blocks, including Ralph, who used them in the language lab. Marge takes Homer to the church to try to calm him, and Reverend Lovejoy gives a sermon on the origin of the Lego world, talking of the plastic that gave them life. Homer asks, what if not everything is made of plastic? The Reverend denies it.
Well, the Orthodox don't use them, but we're a Reform congregation.
But Homer talks about his hallucinations. Ned Flanders says they live in a perfect world where everything perfectly fits. The bad thing is that at that moment everyone sees how Homer's strange hands grow. Everyone goes crazy and his old man calls him a freak.
Take them apart and lose the pieces under the couch!
So he runs off and gets to the comic book store to touch the Lego princess box again, having visions of him and his daughter building a mini Springfield from bricks. Marge proposes entering a Lego contest, so Homer clears his very tight schedule and reserves the day.
Hey, Lenny, remember those two surfers we were gonna fight? Well, you're on your own.
But you're the one who sat on their fish tacos.
Great talking to you, buddy.
Later, he looks for Lisa, after work with a small Duff brewery, but doesn't find her as she's with older friends who invite her to see the Hunger Games movie, and she accepts. Unfortunately for Lisa, Homer presents the project he has with his daughter, making her embarrassed for appearing childish. She tells him she won't go to the contest, but to the movies with her friends, leaving Homer disappointed. Marge tells him their daughter is growing up, a difficult time for girls, making Homer feel he no longer fits in her world. Then, Homer arrives alone at the contest where Lenny is facing the 2 versus 1.
Tacos! Ow! Tacos, brah!
Homer is alone while everyone else is accompanied. The collector, building a statue of the Hunger Games protagonist, listens to Homer, who says she's stolen his daughter, but he replies that she's a strong, independent girl. And after saying this, he continues to increase her breast. By the way, there is an episode parody The Simpsons did of the Hunger Games, so drop a like and subscribe if you want me to make a video about it. As Homer looks at his little Springfield that he built with his daughter, wishing to live in this Lego city where everything fits and no one gets hurt, the statue falls on him, knocking him out, returning to the Lego world. The collector says their world is a fantasy in Homer's destroyed mind, fearing losing his daughter's love. Hence, he created this unchanging world. The new makes him happy, since Homer wants to be trapped in that fantasy forever, showing us sick throws since he kicks his head and later shoots a police helicopter.
Great throw, Homer.
But Marge asks if he could live in a false paradise, even if he knows it's just pretend. He replies he'd never leave the Matrix. We then see that Bart, as punishment, had to build a lot of schools and he still has more to go.
They always give me the school.
Later, Homer enjoys playing with Lisa in the perfect world he created without teenage movies taking her away. He reflects on the consequences of time not passing and nothing changing. Maggie always being a giant baby, and Bart won't ever move out, making him regret and tell Marge that children's growth makes time with them special, needing to resolve it.
Need to go back.
I wish you told me that before I bought all these groceries.
He goes to the collector to return to reality. He tells him he only needs to open the toy box. But the thing is, he will not let him pass. Turning into this villain represents the part of Homer wanting to stay forever.
I can't let that happen.
He invokes different Lego games to attack Homer, pirates, ninjas, and more. Homer does not have a chance. Luckily, Bart in the distance hears him. When they are about to beat him up, a pretty epic Bart robot shows up, mixing different games, firing lions, lightsabers, and finally attacking with Skinner's head. The robot breaks, falling on the store, destroying everything. But Homer finds the box in the debris, opening it, and as he bids Marge farewell, he transforms and enters the package. Waking up at the contest, he tells Lisa about his dream and the lessons learned. She says she changed her mind and came to join him. Homer learned not to prevent her from growing up, so she can go to the movies with her friends. Lisa thanks him and leaves. So we see the 2D world moving away, revealing a cosmic universe suitable for over 13 billion years old. Finally, Lisa watches the movie with friends as the protagonist chooses between two loves. Homer gets mad, wanting to see kids fighting to the death, but Marge enjoys it. A very cool episode with a great animation. Like the episode where the family starts playing the game Roblox. If you want to see what happens, watch this video next. But before, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe.